I want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is nutrition. You scroll anywhere, open your phone right now, go to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, whatever, Google. You will find something that tells you the new and improved way to get in shape, to get in abs, to get healthy, to grow 8 inches taller, whatever it is. There is something out there every single day that talks against the traditional way of getting healthy. Even in the political sense, you see people demonizing sugars, demonizing certain diets, demonizing this and that, when in reality, let's say food dyes are bad for you. Food dyes are not the reason you're unhealthy. Okay? There is no single ingredient out there for the reason you are unhealthy. It's a culmination of multiple factors that get you to where you're considered unhealthy. Lifestyle factors, food choices, activity factors, etc. You cannot blame everything on one thing, but we fall into the predicament of loving to blame one single ingredient, being like, ha, that is the reason I am the way I am. And that's because we fail to have accountability for ourselves. We fail to want to divert the blame, because if we take the blame, then we did something wrong and it's all our fault. And when something's all your fault, it doesn't feel good. And when something doesn't feel good, you get sad and you're just like, what did I do wrong? But you need to think and feel like that sometimes, because you did do something wrong. Maybe you didn't do it on purpose, but you did do something wrong. And that's where you need to accept that you did it wrong and learn from it. We talk about failure all the time, how failure breeds success. You need to fail to learn. Without failure, there is no learning. If you just had everything handed to you, great body, great, finances, great family, and this and that would be great. But if anything happened to it, right? If you lost the family, lost the body, lost the finances, you have no tools to get it back. One of the best examples um, I hear all the time is like, I would rather know how to make $100,000 than be given $100,000. Because if you lose that, you're confident in yourself in making that again because you've built up the skills. It wasn't one thing. It wasn't one thing that led you to success. It was a multiple culmination of failures and failures and successes that led you to develop these skills. And hyperfixating on one thing to be the determining factor of why you are where you are, it's just it's not a healthy thing, because it validates our beliefs in the sense of, it's not my fault. Just not my fault. It's the food dyes. It's inflation. It's today's day and age why I can't get in a relationship. Whatever it is, you will validate it. And you know what happens when you validate things over and over again? The needle never moves. You stay in perpetuity where you are. You become you, whether you like it or not. If you're and you might not ever be happy with you because you keep validating all the reasons why you don't have to change, because X, Y, and Z, right? We need to start holding ourselves to a higher standard, because when you start holding yourself to a higher standard, you expect things from yourself and you don't let little excuses give you the validation. No, you're like, you know, why did I eat the pizza? Well, it was in front of me. No, no, I chose to eat that pizza. I willingly took a bite of that pizza knowing how it would make me feel, knowing how it would mess up my macros, and knowing how, you know, George would yell at me the next week for eating pizza when I said I wouldn't. Not being like, well, it was just there. I had to eat it, right? Like, it would be rude if I didn't eat it. No, it didn't serve you. What it served was, that instant gratification factor that we all look for because it just makes us happy. But in the long term, it makes us unhappy because we don't achieve our goals. So what I'm trying to say here is there is no one thing in life that will cause you to succeed or fail. It's multiple things. And that's why something I hold very, something I have a lot of expertise in nutrition is so frustrating to be in that field right now because you will see a million people being like, the reason you have belly fat is you're spiking your insulin, the food dyes, the seed oils, sugar. You're not low carb. You're not fasting. You're not eating five elephants upside down and wondering why it's not working. We love to blame other reasons. And then when somebody's like, no, you're just not doing the simple steps properly, you're like, no, 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 no. It's the seed oils. It just has to be. And that's why it's frustrating from my perspective, right? So you imagine I have to deal with all these people all the time that are just, hearing BS information nonstop. And it's not your fault. It's the people saying all this information to try to sell you something, honestly. They're trying to get that quick fix because right now we look for instant gratification to give us an out on why we are the way we are. So the whole sum of this is basically there is no one reason to why we are the way we are. It's millions of factors. You became you today because of everything that happened in your life, not one thing. So we got to stop focusing on the one thing, start focusing on the many things, and start focusing on holding ourselves accountable and holding ourselves to a higher standard that we know we can achieve. And if we just start calling ourselves out on that bullshit instead of letting it just ride and being like, we'll do it tomorrow. Oh, well, I didn't have enough time. Oh, I didn't feel like it. Oh, I was tired. Those excuses keep you where you're at. And as soon as you start grabbing your life by the reins, right? You start steering your life. You grab a hold of that steering wheel and start driving yourself instead of letting the autopilot go. You will see so many things that you're like, wow, I I, I can't believe I was doing all of this. And that's a freeing moment because once you understand all the things you did do that you shouldn't have been doing or that weren't serving you, then you can start doing what does serve you and gets you towards closer to your goals. So let's stop blaming ourselves as the victim. Let's stop thinking there's one reason for everything in our life. And let's start taking accountability and bettering our lives every single day.